Hello guys! Today I would like to present to you a deck that I think is very underrated. And if it would be represented more like Guru and Altergeist, it would probably be a topping deck, a consistently topping deck in the current meta. But people are not very aware of how stupidly good this deck is. I'm talking here about Evil Eye, specifically Mystic Mind Evil Eye or Serziel board control. And this deck is something I came up with, like the build. And in testing, I was really not thinking that I would be very impressed by the deck. But it turns out that this deck is very competent at what it does, has all around very good matchups due to how the deck was built, and can steal wins pretty easily and is not even that helmet, and has a lot of nice interactions that decks like Guru Control or Altergeist don't have, and definitely make it worthy of the title Edgy Guru. So let's start with the monsters. We're playing for the Evil Eye monsters, triple Serziel and one Medusa. More you don't need. Anyone that is playing more Evil Eyes, except for 4 because I wished I could, is, in my opinion, wrong, because you do not want to overextend in this meta. You want to be very decisive about how you want to manage your resources. And I found that 5 normal summons are probably the best number, and you don't need that much extra deck plays and anything to get into like delicious board states that can win you the game. So let's go over Serziel for those who don't know the card. Or the deck. It's an equip card based deck. And Serziel is the main monster of the deck, which searches any Evil Eye card in the deck on summon, so it's a Stratos. And if it's equipped by a card called Evil Eye of Selene, which is the equip card of the deck, it's the ability to quick effect pop one special summoned monster per turn. And if you do that effect during the next standby phase, you have to pop one of your own cards. This creates a couple of very neat interactions. For example, if you have artifact set, you can pop the artifacts to get advantage. If you want to circumvent the cost, you can activate set trap cards like Heavy Storm Duster to and as a chain link 2 to his standby phase effect, and then pop that Heavy Storm Duster. You could pop your Evil Eye of Selene, which I will get to later. And this allows you to basically loop his effect and do a couple of nice interactions. Medusa is a graveyard recursion thing. It adds stuff from the graveyard, the Evil Eye cards from the graveyard. And if it's equipped to Evil Eye of Selene, it has the ability to a quick effect banish one card in your opponent's graveyard. And if you do that during the next standby phase, you have to banish one card in your graveyard. The cost basically doesn't matter, so like the payoff. But the main effect is very useful against Orcists, against Sky Strikers, because it often enough comes up that you grind so hard against Sky Strikers that you banish their 3 rays. And as soon as you do that, they look pretty stupid. This deck has generally a stupidly good matchup against Sky Striker due to the equip spell, which I will get to later. I said I play 5 normal summons, and that I do. Inspector Borders are 5th. No introduction needed, stupid card. And speaking about stupid cards that should not be designed, or poorly designed, we're main decking Nibiru. Stun decks usually have a problem playing Nibiru because it's very hard to out for stun decks in Engine. But Altergeist and this deck both have the ability to out this pretty easily. And if you out this, if you add the token. You can push with Serziel for 5100 and Nibiru for 5100 damage, and that is kind of a lot. And if you draw any extra equips, it will go up and up and up. And if your opponent made a fool of himself and did some damage to him, to you, you will probably OTK him. Yeah, Nibiru is just generally a stupid card. But those are not the only stupid cards we're playing, since we are also playing this deck as a Mystic Mind deck. Yay, fun! Especially for your opponent, because we're maining 2 Mystic Minds, 1 Necro Valley, and 3 of the Fieldspell of the deck. This is basically a hidden city, but it also has so during battle, if you have an Evil Eye equipped monster, you can say that both people take the damage. So if someone thinks he is cool enough to OTK you with Utopia Double or Grand Maju, you can say, yeah, you can OTK me, but you're OTKing yourself in the process. And you can just reflect the damage to them too, and this will result in a draw. So you can go to game 4 with this, and 5 and 6 and 7 if you play that quickly. Mystic Mine and Necro Valley are the stupidest field spells in the game, and Mystic Mine specifically, you can if you play Mystic Mine, any of these 3 cards is a huge threat to your opponent, and he has to negate them, first of all. Second of all, if you draw Mystic Mine, he has to negate Mystic Mine. And third of all, Mystic Mine, even going first, causes the game state to be your opponent to be forced to make summon exactly 1 monster. And this you can abuse together with Serziel's Pop effect and other cards that I play in the deck to manipulate the monster zone board state, so that you always gain card advantage off of your opponent only allowed to be controlling 1 monster if he intends to activate effects. And this is like really stupid. And Mystic Mine plus Necro Valley is technically an FTK against Orchist, because you can Mystic Mine them, just play on, and then activate Necro Valley, and then they are completely locked out of the game. I've won most of my games against Orchists just because of that, because I play 6 field spells here. 6 field spells that FTK them. This rounds up the broken part of the deck. And let's get into more tame parts of the deck. The equips Evil Eye of Selene and Evil Eye of Gorgoneo. This is your main equip that you want to use. You want to draw it as often as possible, because you don't want to search it off Serziel if you can, because otherwise you have to search it off Serziel. So what Selene does is the equipped monster becomes Masterpiece. It cannot, or almost Masterpiece. It cannot be targeted. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect. And every time you activate another Evil Eye spell or trap, or activate the effect of the equipped monster, you take 500 damage and he gains 500 attack. And this you can abuse 3 times, 4 times, up to 4 times per turn if you do it correctly and maximize on that. And yeah. And also this attack boost of this is permanent. So if Evil Eye of Selene gets removed from the field, the monster still stays at his ridiculous attack. And you can easily get Serziel up to 5,100 attack just using this card. And speaking of a lot of attack, this card, Gorgoneo, it doesn't provide with the protection that Selene does, even though when equipped, it's called Evil Eye of Selene. But what it does is it gives Serziel, or whichever monster you tend to equip with it. Attack in total to the difference of your life points to your opponent if you have less life points than your opponent. So if, for example, you have 4,000 life points and your opponent has 8,000, your Serziel just gained 4,000 attack. And basically, every time you attack with Serziel with this equipped, you just equalize the life points. And because this deck also plays a lot of cards that burn yourself, you can easily OTK. And also, these cards have grave effects. This is if you have any Evil Eye spell or Evil Eye card in your graveyard, you can banish the Evil Eye card in your graveyard, take 1,000 damage, and set this to your field. And this, you can discard, banish itself, and discard one Evil Eye card from your hand to search any spell or trap that is Evil Eye in the deck, so you can get to your field spell more often. Also, I forgot to mention that the field spell also has an effect when it's destroyed, which adds you an Evil Eye monster from your graveyard. For consistency cards, I am going to tell you right now that I would rather play Extravagance over Desires, but this is for me a monetary issue. And then triple duality. Yeah, obvious is obvious, but if you have the money, please play Extravagance. It's 20 times better. For the traps, we're playing one trap trick, because you don't want to draw multiples. And it basically is a blank third card of every third type of every normal spell in your deck. And speaking of normal spells, Evil Eye Defeat. This is a double compulse as long as you control an Evil Eye of Selene. Or Gorgoneo, because Gorgoneo is called Selene. You can also compulse your own monsters, which comes up. If your opponent thinks he's funny outing your monster with Dingirsu, you can just bounce your own monster and then play next turn. Heavy Storm Duster, and for your only hand trap, Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence, solid card right now. If your opponent thinks he's funny with Azathothing you and making your Nibiru unlive, you can maybe end his turn by impermanencing whatever he has. And then this should be a compulse, but this you can also play play Crackdown. This manipulates the board state again, which is your main goal in the deck. You want to manipulate your opponent's monsters, that amount of monsters that he controls, to your favor, so that he loses a lot of tempo, and you basically can bully him with Serziel. And speaking of bullying, in case he wants to bully you, no, and spell speed 4 no for spell and trap cards. And this is searchable too, which is neat. Extra deck, only relevant cards are these. This is not even relevant. And then technically the Chimera Text. Yeah, I have something in the side for this, which is very neat. I don't own the Chimera Tech Mega Fleet, but if I would play them instead of whatever I have here. Anything else in this extra deck could be super poly targets, whatever you care for. If you want to, you could put your Blue Eyes White Dragons in, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in there. It doesn't even matter. Side deck. Monsters, one Inspector Border, in case you need to side out Nibiru's. 2 Cyber Dragons. This is to out Orcus boards. And we are playing artifacts in the side, just in case we play against a stupid BS deck. Lanciers for Orcus and Thunder. Scythe for anything combo that does not play into Nibiru and plays into Scythe. And speaking of Nibiru, here's the third. Then for trap cards, Give me a moment. We are playing 1 Soul Drain and 2 Unending Nightmares. These could be Super Polys. I don't play Super Polys. And then 2 Sanctums and 2 Trap Tricks, so you can see more Sanctums. You could also play 3 Sanctums and 1 Trap Trick. It all depends how you want to play it. But I prefer this ratio. This is how Evil Eye works and how you... And as said, this deck is very underrated, and you can easily abuse it to hell and back, and probably all your locals will hate you for playing it, because the control aspect is absolute. It is a very dirty deck to play, in my opinion, and as soon as you activate Mystic Mind, most people get aggressions, including me if you would do that against me. So anyways, this is Evil Eye Mystic Mind set rotation control or field control, and I wish you, whomever wants to try this at a regional or maybe a YCS, best of luck, and hopefully we'll never play against each other. See ya.